Welcome to Love Vocals Nation podcast. Today we have a special guest joining us coming all the way from Germany. And he's known as a producer and DJ and has established himself in the trance music scene. With a string of impressive releases under the belt, he has graced labels such as Armada Music, Black Hole Recordings, Ava Recordings, Aduna Beats, and many, many more. His tracks has resonated with listeners around the world and around the globe, gaining recognition and support for some of the biggest DJs in the world. His performances have electrified audiences at massive events, including Awake Festival, Nature One Festival, Transmission, and many more. So let's give a warm welcome to DJ TH.
Yay! Welcome, Thomas.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hey, how you doing today?
Great so far.
Great. Thanks
Excellent.
for joining us.
Thanks for you having me.
Yeah. So the last time we met, you and I, was actually a month ago in Rotterdam at the Grotesque Indoor Festival. And that was really, really cool because you and I were standing on the stage singing. And well, I was singing, you were DJing, and we went back to back. And thank you so much for having me. That was incredible experience. So I am curious, have you brought singers with you before on stage? Is that something that you do normally?
You also was DJing a little bit. Yeah, it was really great. Much fun. Of course. I last year at the ASOP pre-party with Sharon Valerona at Linum's pre-party in Utrecht.
Right.
Yeah, that was the first time with Sharon when I did it. Unfortunately, this club wasn't perfect for doing this. The microphone was not loud enough. It had always this back coupling, and that wasn't perfect. But she also did amazing performance, like you did, of course. And of course, I would love to do this more often. Yes.
Yeah, we would love to see that more as well. I think it's such a cool thing to do in the clubs, bringing the music more live as well. But as you say, it's kind of hard sometimes in the clubs to get the right sound because sometimes they don't really have the setup for the microphone to really reach out, and the club music is very, very loud. So it's kind of difficult to find the perfect level, with the microphone. But it was really, really fun. So let's do that again.
Yeah, that was the reason I was very early there before the event starts, and could do the sound check with the mic, and it worked really good.
Let's tell the listeners what happened. So I was supposed to come a bit earlier on a flight. I missed my first flight, and we missed the sound check. And I came in. You already started. They couldn't change the set time, so they already started our set time. So you were DJing on your own, and I was running in. I take a cab, and I was running in to the club, and I missed a few songs, obviously, and I can hear my own music being played. I was like, oh my God, it's so stressed. So I went up, I throw up my coat, and I would go to you and then just grab the mic and just super stressed start to sing.
Around 20 minutes. So Greece 2021 and Dancing in the Rain, but Dancing in the Rain we played again at the end of the set. So that was the luck in the unluck.
Yes, exactly. So for those who don't know, Dancing in the Rain, it's a new collab between me and DJ TH, which is coming out later on this year. So we did a test run for that song basically on Grotesque. So that was really, really cool. But yeah, Antonia, the mic is yours.
So, welcome to you, Thomas. And I wanted to start today by asking you, tell us a bit about how you got started in music and kind of what kind of brought you to understand that you had this passion to become a producer.
Yeah, I was always into music when I was a young boy, and it always impressed me, and I wanted to do it myself, of course, too. And I was about learning the producing. I tried to learn it more and more. Then I came to Ableton Live. Tried many ideas and tried to learn how to mix right, mastering, to learn it perfect, and made everything like a good arrangement. I wanted to be a great music do myself too.
Did you always know that it was going to be trance music that you were going to go into, or was that something you kind of moved into eventually?
In Germany, trends started in the early 90s with producers like Paul van Dyk. We call him Paul van Dyk in German, not Paul van Dyk.
Really?
So funny. Yeah,
Van
Paul
Dyk.
Van Dyk. Yeah, we had
Yeah.
this conversation at Grotesque. I was shocked because I thought it was Paul van Dyk, but it's in German, which is like, where he comes from, is Paul van Dyk. I was like, what? So yeah, mind blown.
Like him and other producers like maybe Westbam or something. Yeah, and that were the first artists in the mid of the 90s who bring me to trance. And then the Dream House sound came, the Dream Dance sound. Then Dream Dance was starting in 1996, and that was the sound I really fell in love with. Like Robert Miles and Chivago and all the stuff in the mid of the 90s. Yeah, and then artists like DJ Quicksilver came up. That is my sound.
So what was it like to get your very first royalty check?
It was very, very low. A few euros or something.
That's a
How
great
low
answer.
are we talking?
It was very low.
How low?
I
Like,
think
is it €1?
Yeah, no, like maybe 12 euros or something.
Wow, that's impressive. I have gotten statements with like 0.05 cents. I was like, oh, great, thanks. Yeah, it's very common in the music industry.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Fortunately.
But interestingly, the reason I asked that question wasn't really to kind of highlight how low it is, because it is low. But did you feel like accomplished that you were actually even getting a small amount of money in for doing the thing that you loved?
To be honest, not, because it was so low. So this was feeling like people don't like it.
I
no.
love this. I asked it a different way. I tried to flip the script onto the positive there. I did that. And this is what people feel like, folks listening. You're artists that you listen to who work for hours and hours and hours to make fantastic music for you to dance to, make low amounts of money. Just say
Very low. So
Of
many
course.
times, because I also work full time, and people ask me like, why are you working full time? Like, you're this and that, and you're released on that and that label. You collaborated with Hardwell and blah blah blah. And I was like, this is the music industry, If I don't have a side job, then I will not, I can't afford to breathe, basically. So
I am be honest today that my first releases and works, of course, they was not that good as they are now. So today I understand that maybe people didn't like or didn't get attention for the harder of work for today. Of course, it has earned more attention now.
Right, of course.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course. Yeah. But I think I particularly liked what you said there, Linnea. You said that's the music industry. Like almost like we all have to accept as artists, as creators, that's just the way of things, and that is not okay.
That is definitely not okay. I guess there isn't a solution yet, so
no,
we're just in a little bubble trying to do our best. All the artists, even the big ones, even Snoop Dogg, he's been very upfront speaking about this. Taylor Swift as well. So I mean, sure, they can maybe afford a house, obviously, but even they feel like they're struggling. So it's a question that needs an answer to one day.
Okay, and I agree. And anyone who's listening who has any answers to how we can get paid more, please send them in. We want to hear.
Yes,
we want to hear.
Right, Thomas, I have a question for you, because I think a lot of your listeners might be wondering this. So, what does DJTH stand for in your DJ Alliance?
Yeah, Ruben was also asking me that in the ASOT interview.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just for Thomas.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
That was my name when I have started, and then it was growing and growing, and then I didn't change it anymore.
Okay, great. Well, it's a good name. It's very unique. So.
Yeah.
All right, and you have released tracks on many big labels such as Antonia Beats, Armada, Black Hole, and many more. Could you share with us some of your most memorable experience working with these labels? Tell us, share your story.
Yeah, Antonia Beats, we're working with the A&R with Adrian, and it was amazing that he gave us all this detailed feedback. That was really cool. That it would be great when every label would have an A&R like this. What is a little bit sad in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
This would also help the music industry a little bit, and also the artists, of course.
Yep.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah.
To see what big names want for their sets, then to play it and push it.
Yeah. I agree. Like working with labels that do give feedback is really good. It's very helpful for artists. I run auditory recordings together with Antonia and a little team, and we give feedback because I see so much potential, and I want artists to be successful. And nothing else gives me joy as much as seeing other artists, doing really well. So that is something that we do as well at Auditory Recordings. And I also liked that they did that on Antonia Beats for our release together. So yeah, that's I totally agree. That's a great experience on a record label.
Absolutely, yeah. I agree. Artist development. It's a long lost craft.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So Thomas, as a trance artist, how do you approach the creative process when producing new tracks?
The mixing is the most important. So I would say it's very important the tune has a perfect mixing. Kick fit to the bass, and the most important, I think, when the mixing of the tune is good and it's working well in the club or on a festival.
Mm-hmm.
That's I think is the most important for also bringing a fresh while producing.
So in terms of keeping that sound fresh, what techniques do you, or what thought process do you use to just keep making sure your sound is kept fresh?
Yeah, of course, comparing it with other tracks,
Right.
like what sounds they use actually, or how they build their arrangement. Yeah, I think that today, because today you can't find a really new sound anymore, because I think everything was yet in the past, and you just have options to maybe combine things and make this more fresher than. Yeah, I think that's the right way for today, when there is so much masses of music.
Yeah, because there's so much music out there that I guess you have your actual tracks really do have to stand out of the crowd. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, they do. Do you find that that's a little bit more, puts a little bit more pressure on you?
No, not really,
No.
because I think when a tune needs time, then we should give the tune the time.
Nice.
And work it out great, and not going too much to the trend. We see this at the big names, when someone goes into a techno trend, other ones want to go there too and bring directly also a tune in this style or something.
Right.
Yeah, but I don't feel this. I look for the trends which are in the scenes at the moment. To bring a little time is the better way, I think.
No, and I hear that, and that makes absolute sense.
You mentioned before that you were in the Estate of Trance studio with Ruben, and that's a big thing, obviously, for anyone who's in the music industry, because Estate of Trance is one of the biggest radio shows out there, and your music will be heard in many places in the world. So I am wondering, because I think a lot of listeners who are doing music might wonder, how do you get into the radio show? Like, how do you get picked out to come on the show and talk, or DJ? Can you share your experience?
I think it was so Ruben came to me and asked me if I would like to come. I think it was also a little bit because of the pandemic. Not many artists had the chance to travel. So yeah, that was the right time for them inviting me, because it's just 2.5 hours drive from Düsseldorf to Amsterdam with car. So yeah, it was easy to join them while the pandemic and through the lockdowns.
Right. So it was Ruben who basically asked you to come.
Yeah, Ruben asked me, yes.
Nice. Well, I guess you have to be very good friends with Ruben to, get in there, or, obviously talented as well. But that's cool to know. I think a lot of people want to know, because that's a thing a lot of producers or singers out there really want to do. So thanks for sharing that with us. So, Thomas, in regards to, music production, do you produce in Ableton, or what kind of program are you using to produce?
Yes, Ableton Live, yes.
Ableton Live, okay. Why Ableton?
Because I think that's the software which has no, it has no limits. So you can do everything with this. I also tried Fruity Loops when I started really with the first signings 13 years ago. And to be honest, in other softwares like Fruity or also Logic or something, you reach the limits very fast, in my opinion. But Ableton has so many things you can do which you never tried before or something, and I think that that is the right one for me.
Right. I like Ableton as well. I use it as well for production and for my vocal and everything. So yeah, I totally agree. It's a great place to produce in. And what's your favorite VST? Do you have one that you really like?
I have many. Of course, the most people use Spire, Silent, and something. Actually, to be honest, I have worked much Rave Generator. That's VST, which has many old school sounds on it, and you can make them very modern. So I love this one very much. It has like old rave pianos or something, and yeah, it has really cool stuff in it.
Nice.
So
Nice.
actually, this one is my favorite.
Right.
Also, a secret favorite for me is Hive. I also love Hive when making cool leads or also very warm bass lines.
Right.
Sometimes Hive is really cool and better than Spire, I think.
Okay. So check those out, everyone who are sitting at home and produce. If you haven't tested out these sound banks yet and these teas, well, go ahead and look at them, because DGTH is telling you this is the shit. So listen up.
Yeah.
Right. Thomas, I want to go back and talk a little bit about record labels, because there's so many awesome record labels out there. So when you are in the process of, sending out a demo, what do you keep in mind in regards to what label you want to pick? You and I, we have talked a little bit in regards to, that contracts are very important for you as an artist. So maybe share what your thought process is when you are sending out a demo. Like, how do you find the right label to your specific sound or song?
Yeah, of course, you need to check out which DJs, which artists behind that label, and of course the tune must fit for him. It makes no sense sending him something which he would never play in his sets. So of course, the tune need to fit to the artist, and of course the promo need to be good. So actually, I think the most important is have a good reach at Spotify and the other streaming platforms. So I think everyone is looking to Spotify today, and I think that's the most important, to have a good monthly listener monthly listener stats, and many streams. And when people go on onto your Spotify profile and see like 100,000 monthly listeners, I think that is a good argument to get also then a booking.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I guess we had this kind of conversation with Somna recently in regards to how important Spotify is because everything can change for you if your song gets picked up by the correct playlist. Let's say it
Yes.
like that. So if a label have a contact to somebody that is doing a playlist and is able to pitch it to that playlist, well, it's gonna help you a lot as a artist because it could be, you never know when you have a good hit that will hit the playlist. And something Somna said is that you could have the biggest hit ever, but sometimes that biggest hit doesn't hit the playlist and therefore is not the most popular song. So you never know which of your songs will be picked up on these playlists. But when they do get picked up, it's it's gonna change the game for you and as an artist. We saw that with our release, Everglow, for example, Thomas. That it's nearly 1 million listeners now, and it's because it's been picked up by a good playlist. So you never know what happens, but yeah, these things are important for a musician.
Yeah, they are, but you just also need to be careful about some of the playlist has many bots, of course. So you can see it when a tune go in a wrong playlist. Suddenly you have maybe like 20. It is not a right person who is listening there, but just a bot.
Yeah. These things has been happening lately in Sweden, right? There has been some specific artists that were always number one in Spotify, and people was like, "That's strange," because it wasn't maybe the most popular music out there, and they found out that there is a way to manipulate basically the streams on Spotify.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think there's some labels that are doing that as well. We have heard some rumors about that. And Spotify recently found out about this and has taken down a lot of artist music because it's basically illegal to do that. So yeah, very good thing that you mentioned there, Thomas. And you and I and Antonia, before we even started this recording, we talked about record labels and contracts. So can you tell me, like, when you look at the contract, what is something that you need to pay attention to as an artist when you get a contract from a label? Is there some contracts that you should walk away from? Maybe like share your opinion.
Yeah, of course. The contract need to be fair, and when you see that you just get very less percents, like an example, like maybe 80-20, then it's unfair, of course. And why you should sign this contract when you have the other labels which have fair contracts, like 50-50 incomings,
Right.
paying out.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Like an example. But of course, major labels maybe think can do this because of their reach. And you need to think about then if this is really worth to sign a contract like this then.
Yeah,
I like
that.
I like that reply, because I think we've said this in a few other shows before, that to be very careful if you're willing, if you think you're going to actually get some kind of value from taking a lower percentage because it's maybe a prominent label that's going to get your name out there, then you attach a value to that. But if you're someone like yourself, Thomas, actually proven their worth, then we need to make a living, guys. You know, 80-20 or 25-75 is, I think, really unfair.
Yeah.
And anyone
Should
who's,
always be 50-50.
yeah,
in
and
my opinion.
anyone less than that is, I think, is a bit shameful these days, truthfully.
Yeah, I've seen contracts where they want to offer me 15% only, and then they take the rest, and I'm like, what? I think a lot of artists have educated themselves on this, because they've been in the industry a couple of years, and they have seen some contracts where they like, what's going on here? And I think a lot of artists decide to open their own record label so they can do their own thing. An example would be Martin Garrix, for example. Like, he had a major hit with Animals, some years ago. And I think he opened his own label because there was some issues with a past label. And he was basically taking control, and now he doesn't have to give away his royalties. So I think that was really smart. But obviously, not every artist want to have a record label, because it takes a lot of time and effort to do that. But there is some good labels out there that are still offering 50%. So I would definitely recommend the artists to look for those.
Absolutely. And let me just jump in and say, everybody listening, Auditory Recordings do 50-50 deals, and they are really, very fair.
Yes.
Just want to put that in.
That's good.
Yeah.
So when we first started, Thomas, we were actually talking about your very first royalty statement, and you said, it was actually quite, I felt it was a bit low, So this question actually follows on from that. So do you think that DJ producers can afford to make their living from music?
It's difficult today, of course, and you need to really hard work to reach this. And if you really want to reach this, you need to focus constantly on your work and doing as much as possible. Like me, I'm also a ghost producer and also ghosting artist for a money fee then, of course. And then if you're doing much, then it is possible, of course.
Right.
So you think the money lays like being a ghost producer and maybe gigs? Is that what you think?
Yeah, of course, also gigs, yes.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. Can I ask a question? And if I'd like to know the answer, but if you don't want me to put this out, we won't put it out. But I'm really intrigued. What does a ghost producer get these days?
You mean the fee?
Yes.
It's difficult, of course. If you are a named artist, you can told the people that you took more for a production, of course. To be honest, I'm not sure. I know producers who tried it with around $1,000 or euros per track, but then they say other DJs don't pay this, so they go down with their price then.
Right. So what I'm hearing you say is that round about $1,000 if it's kind of an average, a medium range vocalist or artist or producer. But if it's a higher level, then obviously you would charge more money. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Right.
When you yourself as an artist has a higher level, then maybe you can say my price is higher now for
Okay.
production. Yeah.
So just give me a sort of a ballpark. What to what would you say is a normal range for a ghost producer, depending on the level of that artist?
I would say maybe around 500 until 700 euros.
Really?
Around
Yeah, I mean, so I'm forgive me because I'm really intrigued about this, genuinely intrigued about this. Okay, so when you do a ghost track, is that that price, is that a complete buyout?
Oh, yes, of course.
Okay. How long does it take you to do a ghost track for someone?
That's different. Some artists are very easy happy with what I am doing, and others maybe want some special stuff in it, like that snare is not good, or that
Right.
hi-hat, change it or something. You have a different people out there, and everyone is feeling it different.
Okay. So, and
Yeah.
so when do you have like a limit of how many changes you're willing to make in order to give them a finished product?
No, normally, to be honest, if the changes are not that much, or they don't really want a complete new track or something, no, that is then in the price, of course.
Okay. And the reason I'm asking this question, because I'm intrigued, because I'm thinking about if it took you sort of 4 hours or 5 hours to lay down a really good backing track and send it out, and they go, yay, this is fantastic, then, you know, thank you, give me 700 euros. I think that's really good. Okay. I think that's a really good deal for you, because this is a brand new composition. Yeah, do you understand what I mean by that? Yeah, it's a brand new composition. It actually has a value because it's your creation, right? So 700 euros, great. I've done 5 hours work, I'm willing to let it go. And then there's the next potential customer, and you do it in 4 hours, and then they say, oh no, and then they come back and say, oh no, 15 times. I'm making that up. 15 times, to the point where you end up, you know, you've been working for 5 days or a week, and then that 700 euros plus your own creation doesn't seem quite such a good price anymore. What do you think about that?
Yeah, of course. When an artist is never happy and tell me change this, and always want something new, yeah, then of course we quit it, or we add money on the price.
Right. Oh, that's good. So you have a policy, because it's interesting, because I'm just using Fiverr. Sorry. Fiverr is an example. You know, when the people go on there and then they say, hey, I'm willing to do 3 changes for this price. And I kind of like that, because I don't go on Fiverr. You know, I'm not on Fiverr. But my point is, as a policy, it's allowing you as a creator to say, hey, this is what I'm willing to do for that money. and they're signing the document saying, yeah, okay, I agree to that. And I'm just thinking, because if you were doing sort of a week's worth of work plus your creation, it wouldn't be fair. I don't think it's fair. Would be fair. Would you? What do you think, Linnea?
I have been producing for other people as well,
Okay.
ghost production, and yes, it's sometimes they do want to have edits, and you yourself as a producer might get to a stage where it's a bit frustrating because it's never 100% of what the other person wants. And it takes a lot of time and dedication to get it to the perfect sound, obviously. So I think having a policy in place saying that yes, I will do, I don't know, 15 changes or 10 changes. That's fine for this price. That's a smart idea to do. And if it goes above, I guess, the other changes,
you still get your money. You still get your money.
But maybe I would definitely maybe add something on there. Yeah, it's a good thought. For sure, Antonia.
I think 15 changes are far too much. Sorry, people. I'm just saying. I think I would be saying no more than 5. That would be me. 5 changes, because people don't know what a change is. What is how do you define a change? Is that change? Is that change the whole thing, or is that change a snare or a bass? A bass sound. So again, it's just about making sure that you don't get, taken advantage of.
That's difficult to define, of course. So in my opinion, it's just to say, let's be fair. And if you really want something that goes into a complete new style or something, or totally new tune, like new melodies and something, then of course adding a few hundreds of euros monies on the price.
Absolutely. And that's what I'm saying again, because when and I know you probably know this already, Thomas, you're seasoned in the industry. But I mean, and this is the same for remixers, any remixers listening to this, you're writing a brand new composition. Technically, under law, you should actually have publishing on that by law. So by giving away for $700 that, or 700 euros, sorry, that composition, and that you're giving away also your publishing rights, which is worth money. It's the one thing that actually there's a value in music these days, still maintains a value, is publishing. So and that's all the reason I'm bringing that up, because I think sometimes remixers, and a lot of remixers will do stuff for free these days, and a lot of remixers will do stuff for very little money. And please know, guys and girls, that is your composition, and that actually has a publishing value, although you're giving it away. Just thought I'd say that.
Yeah, that's a good thought. I think a lot of artists don't really know these things, and that's why I guess we are here to educate about these things.
Yeah. I want to hear what you go ahead, Thomas.
You can see this for 2 points. Like, for example, if you buy a remix from a big name artist, like maybe DJ TH and Linnea Schossow in Hardwell remix, let's dream a little bit, and Hardwell would remix our song, then of course this has a massive pushing. Then of course the remix is more worth for him, maybe, then he would ghost a tune for someone. Also, if it's a big artist or something, but you never know that Hardwell would produce the song, like an example. But if he's a big name and doing a remix, like maybe let's take another name. Maybe let's do it with Paul van Dyk. Maybe he would remix our song, or maybe he would produce a ghost song. So no one knows that he did the ghost song for the artist. So for if your name is big, a remix, in my opinion, is more worth than selling an own production to someone, because because no one knows who did it. Most of them we're letting me do it for them.
Yeah, and I
right.
Yeah, and I hear that. Let me just still we're on this topic, because it's something we haven't actually brought up before. So let's flip the script a little bit, and let's imagine that an unknown producer, a really good unknown producer, is asked to do a remix for someone, and they say, and the label says, just do it for free because you're going to get some good exposure out of this. And the producer does it, and it's really amazing, and it goes out there. The song becomes a massive hit, and guess what they're all playing? They're all playing that producer's mix, and that's the one that goes off. That's the one that is getting played all over the radio stations all over the world. And that producer walks away with nothing. Now, I understand now, and that's when I say nothing, there's a value to the exposure that that producer would get from that.
Yeah.
But in terms of royalties, and in terms of publishing royalties, they would get nothing. And that is where I think is a really very gray area in the music industry, and an area that hasn't really even been explored. Because back in the day, sorry, I've got to go back in the day, back in the sort of late 90s, let's go back to the late 90s, a producer, no matter what level, always got paid, always got a decent amount of money, maybe £1,000 for doing a remix, whether they were named or not. And that was because it was to compensate them for the fact that it was an actual composition, and they were selling their rights away for their composition. And now, the way that the whole industry has now moved is now they get pretty much nothing. And I want producers to know that when they're choosing to put a price on their creative work, is to remind themselves they're giving away their publishing, they're giving away their royalties. And so to make sure that the price that they put on it is appropriate, is fair. So I just want to share that bit. What do you think about that?
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, you can't compare the times from the past to now. Today, it's, I think, more important with the mass of the artists to get reach, and you will be more known. So, of course, you can focus on, like you say, you buy a remix from a big name, like for maybe €1,000 or something. And yeah, of course, you maybe earn nothing then, because the remixer earned everything. And when you put all your incomings together then, but you have one reach. So this can help maybe for next time to maybe sign for a bigger label. If you're still a small
Absolutely.
unknown artist, that's your example you told.
Yeah, I mean, I see that as, again, it's that there's a value to that. I'm not known. It would be good to have a big remixer, because then that's going to get my reach. It's going to get my popularity up there. That makes sense. I'm really talking about the little guy, the little guy who is, you know, potentially giving away his craft. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Giving away his
And
skill.
the little guy can be better, maybe quality better, but people
Possibly.
just look on the remixer who has the big name, and maybe the remix is a more bad tune than the original song.
Yeah.
But the smaller guy just bought the remix to get the attention.
Get started. Yeah.
Yeah, that is the time today, unfortunately.
I know, but it sucks, Thomas. It sucks. It's not fair. And somebody somewhere, no matter whether it's the little guy or the big guy, there's somebody out there that's picking up the publishing check. And that's what I'm saying, you know, it's like somebody's picking up that publishing check. So make sure, if you're going to do a remix for free or for whatever, make sure it has a decent value to it, is what I'm saying. Whether it's I'm getting something from it or I'm making some money. Anyway, sorry, I've just gone off on one, but that.
I love it. I love it. I think
maybe the reason also we are now in the world of the socials, and who has a big reach on the socials, who can also say, I am very known artist, and can say for remix I want like maybe 1,000 euros.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bad time, but that's actually the world we are living in, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know. I agree with you. Yes.
Moving on to another topic. So, Thomas, you've been working with major artists such as Ronsky Speed, Alexander Popov, Manuel Alexa, and many more names. So, what do you prefer more? Do you like working on solo projects, or do you prefer working with other people?
Actually, I think we are in times when to making collabs, it's more amazing. You know, we also did many, like with Manuel or with Ronsky, and if we are more people in a project, we can bring all the own ideas on the project, and that's the reason then it will be more perfect. And of course, it can also reach more people again when more artists are in the project name. Then the fans of every artist in the project get attention of the song, also on Spotify or something. When, as example, 3 artists are tagged, like just 2 or 1. It's more better for getting more reach and more streams.
I think it's fun to work with other people as well, but I guess sometimes I think it's good to do some solo tracks as well, just to show like, hey, I am really good at doing this and that. It's my name, but it's really fun. It's, I guess, more fun to work with a lot of people because, as you say, you bring the best of all the worlds together and it becomes something amazing.
Yeah, of course, you should do both of it. Sometimes also some solo, and then some collabs again, doing the right midway, I think.
Yeah.
Which do you prefer?
I prefer definitely working on collabs. So many ideas from everyone goes into the collab then, and it's amazing. You know, like we did the tune with Manuel, Butterflies. We
Right.
had so much fun in our discussion group, and talked about so many things in the scene and something. And yeah, of course, that was funny.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, totally agree. Good
Yeah.
times. Moving on to another topic here. You know, I have heard Armin talking about producers using vocal samples over and over again in the demos that they're sending into Armada, for example. And he also went out on A State of Trance saying, guys, you need to stop using the same vocal sample because he heard it so many times on so many tracks. So, you know, how can producers maybe avoid using the same samples? What's your thoughts around this topic?
Yeah, that's of course a problem in today's times when many smaller producers also downloading sound sample packs and producing with them also. Of course, you also need to think that everyone can use the samples. When you have bought this, everyone can buy and use their samples too. So in my opinion, when you find a great sample in a sample package, you can working with effects or transposing it, and then the sample don't sound like the same as before. And then guys like Armin or other ones who playing it don't listen anymore that it is the same sample. You have so many great effect tools today, other things or ideas you can do with the sample, like maybe put a cool chorus on it, or maybe cool delay, or something like this, and then the sample don't sound same anymore.
Right. That's good advice, I guess. You know, like try to, if you're gonna use like the samples that other are using, try to tweak it, personalize it a little bit if you can. Yeah. And maybe I would even say reach out to vocalists, you know.
Yeah, I was
for some
I know, I agree. I was gonna say that just don't use samples that often. And it's interesting because when I used to work with Kevin Swain back in the day, one of the things he was incredibly progressive house. He used to say, we're just going to make our own stuff up. He said, even if let's just make our own hooks, even if we're just going to talk into the mic. And he was like genius at, he would do something really breathy and silly, and then he would tweak the hell out of it and may turn it into something that's just off the chart amazing. So I'm sure you've all heard of Rockin' to the Rhythm of the Groovy Beat. Do you remember back in the day? Yeah. So he did that, and he just took that and he just flipped all in his head, and everything had to be to some degree unique, so that no one else was using it. So yeah,
there you go. Yeah, you heard all the tips. You know, if you're gonna use sample packs, try to make it personalized, but also there's amazing vocalists out there,
absolutely,
that are probably open to make some unique samples as well for producers. So there's many opportunities out there for producers to get it.
Yeah, and also I just want to add into this again. You can speak to a vocalist, get a vocalist into your studio, and literally just get them to sing what they feel over your backing track, And you can just take snippets of the best of what they've come up with and just pay them a fee for coming in and doing that. Why go out and buy sample packs that everybody else is buying? Doesn't make sense to me.
I guess it's a little bit of time also, obviously, because sometimes producers just want to finish off a track really quick, so they go into whatever, loop cloud or whatever to get those samples because they want to do this quick. Yeah, so it's quick and easy. It has to be quick. It has to be accessible. But the good thing is, with Love Vocals, we are, we've been hinting and hinting and hinting about this new music platform coming out, and we are launching really, really soon. We're so close to launch. But on this platform, there will be so many vocalists out there. There will be vocals for producers to buy and get, and it's personalized 100%, and you can get those vocals with a click, right? So it's gonna be cool. Yeah,
that's amazing.
The real deal, the real deal,
the real stuff. We're gonna make it very, very cool. And the platform is launching soon this year, and we will keep you updated. But this is just like a small teasers that we're talking about right now, which will be available on the platform. Anyways, thanks for sharing your thoughts on that. Thomas, you and I, we have been working together several times. And I must say, it's always a pleasure working with you. You are, first of all, such a nice person. You always listen to my feedback as well. And you try to do edits. And the good thing with you is that I never have to worry that you would run away with the song without including me, let's say, in emails to the record labels. You always make sure that you are happy, I am happy, everybody who is doing this collaboration together, that we all agree on the splits, on royalties and publishing and things like that. So that's why I think it's such an amazing thing to be able to work with you. Obviously, you're super talented producer as well. So, everything in one, you're so good. You're so good. So my question is, what do you do normally to protect yourself legally in case you would have any disagreements during a collaboration? Like, do you write a contract before that, yes, we're going to do 50% or do you write a message saying let's do equal splits, or what's your process?
Thanks first for your great words. Of course, it's the same thing as for us DJs and producers. If the name is big, like maybe example, we did a tune with Richard Bedford, known from many Above and Beyond tracks. And of course, then he wanted first a big fee for working something out for us. Of course, it's understandable. Like he's a pregnant voice in every tune from Above and Beyond in the past, like Alone Tonight and something. But in my opinion, it's most fair when you agreeing in a 50-50 split then, and working it out that both sides are perfectly happy with the result. And then of course, talking which is the best label for both sides, for me as
Yeah.
artist and also for the singer, of course.
Yeah. I like that. I like your
Yeah.
thought process that you are, discussing with everybody who is, working on the track. What kind of label should we, approach together? And then you have the chat together. I think it makes the whole process really nice and sweet. That's why I guess you and we keep collaborating. Well, first of all, I think maybe we should do an album together, one day because, you know, uh, you
Yeah.
have this amazing production, but also you're so good with the whole process of keeping ourselves safe in regards to the splits, and also making sure that we all agree before we move on to the next step. And yeah, so yeah, I couldn't speak higher of you because it's been a pleasure working with you.
Yeah, thanks.
So, Thomas, what are some of the biggest challenges that you've had to face as a DJ, and how did you overcome them?
Oh, yeah, when I played my first gigs, also the bigger gigs with more people on the event. Yeah, of course, it sometimes it was a little bit difficult, and I was a little bit nervous. So, will I do my job good today, and will be the people happy today? Yeah, sometimes it's this feeling is also a little bit today when there is a big event like the grotesque or yeah. So I always want to do my job good and make all people happy
Right.
with the tunes I'm playing. So yeah, I think. But if you make it more and more, you will be more into the process and
Yeah,
don't be like nervous like this anymore.
right. Yeah, I mean, so what I'm hearing is that for you, you get nervous when you've got a really big event on, but you're basically having to overcome those nerves. How do you overcome those nerves on stage?
Um, hmm. Yeah, in the past, yeah, it was difficult, of course, but today I think, yeah, my name is growing like this, so why should people be unhappy with me? So, yeah, that brings it a little bit more easier then.
Okay. So you just think to yourself, well, why would they be unhappy with me?
Yeah,
So I'm just going to get on with it.
yeah,
Excellent. I love that.
exactly.
I love it.
That's positive thinking there, Thomas. I love that.
Yes, we love that.
Have confidence. That's the motto here. Have confidence in your craft, in your talent.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you talk about any collaborations or performances that have been particularly influential or significant to your kind of artistic growth as a DJ?
Maybe, yeah, always take always your job serious and not like you come on an event and drink like 10 beers or something before you are playing, and then yeah, of course you can't do your job perfectly anymore. So always take serious what you are doing. That's my opinion. If you're doing it like more fun, of course you can do it, but then you also can have the problem that people didn't like your work and will be not happy with what you are playing.
Okay, now I hear that. Now that may be the answer to the next question. So do you have any general advice or best practices for artists entering into collaborations when it comes to the contractual aspect? Any lessons that you've learned from the past experiences that you'd like to share?
When signing a contract, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Always read every point more times and
Nice.
try to understand it perfectly. And then always think about if it's the right way what you are signing there.
Nice. I love that. It is
Very wise
it's so
words.
important. He's absolutely right. It's so important to absolutely read through everything. And if you don't understand it, contact somebody who does if you haven't got the money, or please contact a lawyer. It's worth the money. Worth the money. That's all I can say. Okay.
100%. 100%. That's some good advice there, Thomas. I like it. You have released a massive album recently. Can you show us the album and talk a little bit more about that album?
Yeah. Wait a second.
All right. Drum rolls. Exactly. Hold it there for a second.
Yes.
Go and buy
Excellent.
it, everyone.
Online.
Right
Go
now.
and buy it. I'm going to buy it.
Yeah.
Okay. There you go. Look at that.
But yeah, Thomas, tell us about the album.
Yeah, I was thinking about having an album with all my best tunes so far, which I have created in the last 12 years. It was,
Wow. Very cool.
The best of tunes. Of course, there were so much of my tunes, and of course I couldn't include everyone, as there are so much great ones. But I thought about I make it as a DJ mix, so more tunes will fit there, and at the end it's 45 tracks on both CDs.
Yeah.
24 on CD1, 21 on CD2.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, and I try to also include many of my collab partners.
Right.
So it would be more, get also more attention again when many different tunes are on it. So far I think it worked very well, and
Right.
everyone who bought it or grabbed it said it's a really great album with different styles, different tunes, different singers also, and a really good alternation on the whole album. Yeah, and it's great to make the people happy with it.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That sounds really good value for money. Really good value for money.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
There's some good songs in there, and I guess I'm included there. So go and buy it.
3 of our greatest tunes are included.
Nice.
Searching in Your Soul,
Yay.
Chasing Shadows, and I Realize.
There you go.
Yes.
Check it out, guys. Check it out.
I guess you have to start working on another album, because you and I are working together on more music, and you and Antonia are working on new music as well, which is really cool. For listeners out there, Antonia Lucas, who's sitting here with us, my partner in crime. She has an incredible voice. Seriously, she gives me goosebumps, right? And well, Antonia hasn't released music in a long time, and I thought it's definitely time. And I heard her vocal in a car. I was sitting with a friend, and she had the vocal of Antonia, and I was like, play that vocal again, because that was incredible. So me and my friend were listening to that vocal, and I reached out to Antonia and saying, like, did you ever do anything with this vocal? And she said, no, I didn't. Nothing really happened. It wasn't the right fit with the right producer. It was like, oh my God, you can't leave this vocal, not being released. It's so good. So I started to think, like, who would be the perfect producer for this collab? And I was like, okay, it's DJ TH, obviously, because you understand, how to work a vocal, and you're, really good to work with. You're ethical in regards to, the splits, and you are the right person to bring this to the next level. And you did. You created such an incredible song with Antonia. And I guess Antonia, yeah, I mean, I'm talking a lot here, but it's gonna be your
was
first.
blown away. No,
It's gonna be your first release in many years.
Yeah, well, yeah, it is. And I took a major sabbatical for a long time, and and that was one song that we just didn't have the right fit. So when you suggested it, I thought, you know what, let's give it a shot. When the track came back to me, I was like, what? I was like, this is amazing. Wow. It just all fitted together beautifully. They had used, when you write a song, there's a certain intonation that you use when you write that song. And when you send that vocal, an a cappella of that vocal to a producer, they don't necessarily hear the intonation, the way it's been written.
Right.
But Thomas, DJ TH, basically got it. Just totally got it, like bam. And I was like, wow, that, and I actually cried when I heard it. I couldn't believe the radio mix.
I had goosebumps.
It was brilliant.
I'm telling you guys, this release has the potential to be the tune of the year. I'm telling you, it's so good. The powerful vocals is unbelievable. And your listeners, I'm just telling you now, this song is going to be something special. Really, wow. You have something to look forward to. Really, really, really. No matter what label it ends up on, that label is going to be very, very lucky, because it's going to explode, in my opinion.
Thank you for that big up. But I have to say that that Thomas and co pulled it off, because you've got a co-writer that did that with you. Is that not the case, Thomas? Yeah. So, and it's fantastic.
Thomas, tell us the process. Like, how did you put this song together with Antonia's vocals? Like, what was your thought process around it?
Of course, first I thought about how can we place that vocal in an energetic lead, because this vocal is also really energetic, and it really need an energetic lead behind it. And that was the key to that song, to make this like it is now. And hope the release will be soon, and it gets the attention it deserved.
Oh, bless you. I think that's lovely, and I'm excited to see what home it goes to, what label it goes to. So I'm intrigued. We'll wait and see.
I'm super excited. And no matter what, I'm gonna vote for it for tune of the year because
Oh,
it's
bless you.
incredible. But okay, let's give the listeners a little snippet of a little teaser of this track because it's that good. Okay, let's check it out. All right. Let's go into some weird questions. Antonia, you take it off.
All right. Okay. If you were shipwrecked on a desert island and you could only have 2 items with you, what would they be?
Oh, that's difficult. Maybe. Yeah, of course, today I think everyone would say maybe your phone, of course, so you can try to phone someone who brings you home again. But yeah, of course, if you would be longer than maybe a laptop, which I can work on new music, and yeah, maybe I have to calm on the island to found some new ideas in the nature.
I love it. Like you're on the island, and the first thing is like, oh, I need to make music. I love it.
Well, I just want to know what he's going to eat. What are you going to eat?
Yeah, maybe there are growing some fruits or something. So you don't need to eat.
What about electricity for your laptop? What about a battery life on your laptop?
Yeah, true. Yeah, true. Yeah, some batteries then.
Yeah.
If there's
some batteries in a
nothing
laptop.
you can load it, yeah, of course, some batteries in.
I know. I've got it. You get one of those solar chargers.
Oh yeah.
Solar chargers.
Yeah.
Plug in the laptop, off you go. How about that? That keeps you going for a long time. See?
Unlimited music from the islands. Okay, Thomas. If you were given $1 million to spend under 24 hours, how would you spend it?
Yeah, same answer. I think I would invest it in music, in the music business, or in everything you need, like maybe new tools, maybe something to make good advertising. Yeah, something like this.
I love it. You're such a musician, thinking of the music first.
He is.
Yeah, I love that passion. You know, you're very passionate about music. You can definitely tell. Love it.
Yeah, because you can earn the money back then when you invested good. Then yeah.
Big thinking. Yeah,
absolutely. My goodness. You've played some of the biggest stages. What are the most strangest things that have ever happened to you when you've been out playing?
I had a gig a few years ago, many years ago, I think almost 10 years ago, in a club in Dortmund. And then the club owner forgot to add the subwoofer. So the
Oh my Lord.
Yeah. So the people came to me and told me the bass is so low. So why you don't add more? So I put the bass on bass volume on maximum on the mixer, and then the owner of the club, she came and put the woofer on, and then the sound system almost was exploding because I had the bass volume on. So wow, that was really strange. So
wasn't great.
yeah,
Oh my Lord.
many people leave the dance floor for a few minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, and then they came back when I saw it and put the bass back again. And wow, but that was really unprofessional in my opinion.
Yes.
So this never should be happened. Although it was small club and but that was really unprofessional.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, what an experience. Nearly exploded there.
Were you embarrassed?
No, because I didn't realize it for the first. And then I saw something isn't right here. And yeah, so at the end, the club was also not that full. So I was the second artist in the lineup. So no, it was not like, I was stressed or something.
Right. Okay. Wow. Right. Good on you.
Yeah, very good.
Good on
we
you.
all
Lord.
the artists are going through these moments. It could be like the microphone is not working, or as you see, the bass line is nearly exploding the whole club.
I used to get quite embarrassed when things like that. I mean, you carry on. You've got to be professional. You've got to carry on. But I used to get really embarrassed when stuff like that happened. I just wanted it to be perfect,
Obviously, yeah. But hey, that's the beauty of live music. Anything can happen. So
totally. Yep.
All right, Thomas, what's next for DJ TH? Any collabs coming up or any albums that you're working on? Tell us.
Yeah, of course, some great tunes are coming. We were talking about the tune with Antonia and our Dancing in the Rain. And many is coming. Where can I start? Actually, to be honest, it's modern to rework some classics also. So I also tried to rework some great classics again, and let's see how they will work.
Nice. We can't wait to hear what's coming for you. And where can people buy your album? What stores?
Everywhere, like Amazon and all shops. You can find CDs, like also in Media Markt, Saturn. Every shops who buy CDs out there. So in the online shops, of course, and also real in the shops.
In the shops as well, right?
Yeah.
Well, you guys, you better get a copy because that album is incredible. There's so many big vocal tracks in there. You need to check it out. Check out TH Best of. Yeah, absolutely. And can't wait to show you guys what me and TH has been working on and what Antonia and Thomas has been working on as well. So many big tracks coming. So I'm super excited and I can't wait to get this new music out there.
So
Well, Thomas,
yeah.
it's been incredible to have you here with us today. I think it's only the beginning of your incredible journey. So thank you so much for sitting down and sharing so much with us. And yeah, we hope to see you soon again on this podcast.
Yeah. You're a talented producer. Just so you know that. You really are.
Thank you. Thank you.
You really, really are.
So, Thomas, you know, as being a producer or singer or just like a musician today or even an artist, like, you know, you spend a lot of time on the socials and you do that to promote your music. And I guess a lot of artists feel frustration that they do have to spend a lot of time on the socials. And it's necessary because that's where people find your music. But my question is to you, how much time do you spend on social media to promote your music?
Yeah, exactly. That's the point today. We were talking a little bit before, and of course it's spent much time. And actually, I have someone who's helping me a little bit, but it's cost really much time, much working time. So. Yeah, but of course it's important to get the reach and get more known, and I think it's a very important key for today to if you make a perfect social marketing for yourself, then that's the key for success, of course. The people who have understand it, like maybe Giuseppe Ottaviani, is a good guy to show. He understood perfectly, used the socials for himself, and it worked very good for him.
I've seen, let's say, a lot of artists that was you know, medium big, that grew a lot of followers during COVID because they were, I guess, they were smart. They were using a lot of video contents and things like that. They were being creative, and because of that, I see those artists getting booked now much more compared to you know how it was before, you know, before the pandemic, where they didn't maybe spend as much time, let's say, recording themselves DJing, for example. So yeah, I guess social media is really important, but it is frustrating to spend so much time on social media. I guess it's a full-time job. I would definitely call it full-time job. But yeah, it's the way it is, I guess.
Yeah, it's the way it is. And
Yeah.
I you know, I take hats off to all of you who I know you spend quite a lot of time, you know, promoting yourself. I'm going to be really honest. I do it little, but it just drives me bonkers.
We're gonna get you back in the game.
I know. Yeah, I know. I know. I'm starting to kind of do it, but I really, I'm impressed with the amount of effort that both of you put into doing these socials, and yeah, it's a bit of a time sink, isn't it? It kind of sucks up your time.
Definitely, I would rather want to go out and enjoy the nice weather, whatever.
Right.
But hey, you know, promoting is really important. So
Yeah.
you know, you do what you got to do.
Yeah. Can I ask another question of you? So you've got a child, is that correct? Is that right?
Girl.
Little girl. You've got a little girl?
Yeah, little girl,
Yeah. So how old is she?
5.
Okay. Does she love music?
Yes, of course.
And does she love her daddy's music?
Yes, of course. You know, I made the song for her, Leonie, and of course she understands it yet and loves it totally.
That's brilliant.
You did a song for her as well. You named a song after your daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I heard it.
That's great. And so how do you mix your home life, being daddy, being DJ, being producer? How do you mix all of those together and create some kind of balance?
Yeah, it's difficult sometimes when she's coming and asking, "Can you play with me now?" And there is still much work, and yeah, then I show her a little bit of what I'm doing at the moment, and yeah, then yeah, I try to find the perfect balance then, and I try to play with her all through. There's still a little bit work. Yeah, you know how it works, and then
I know, I do.
you need to
Yeah.
find the right time then.
That's right. And it is so difficult because music can be very consuming, very time consuming, you know. And now we've just talked about socials, the time you have to put into promoting yourself as well, you know, trying to have some kind of family life as well. And you know, it's got to be tough. It's got to be hard, you know, to do.
Yeah. Why do you think you know, the big producers are asking are big names? Not all. I mean, there's many producers are still producing their own music, but those who are, some of them that are very, very busy, they ask for ghost production so they can have a normal life with their family.
Yeah.
Well, you know, this is it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Right. Well, Thomas, it's been really lovely to have you here on the Love Vocals podcast.
Lovely.
We hope to see you again, and we hope to see a huge amount of tunes coming from you. You're super, super talented. So, you know, I can't wait for your next album.
Yes.
Thank you so much for spending some
Thank
time
you
with
very
us
much.
today.
I'm going to go and buy your album. I want to hear it. Yay!
Yes, get this album.
DJ TH album. And it's called, what's it called?
The very best of DJ TH.
It's called The Very Best of DJ TH. There you go.
Yes.
Go and buy it
online.
Right
Go and buy it. I'm going to buy it. All right. So thank you for your time today, Thomas. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Okay. So that concludes our incredible conversation with DJ TH. What an inspiring journey he's had in the trance music scene. And we're grateful for his insights and stories. We would like to extend our heartfelt thanks to you, Thomas, for gracing us with your presence here on Love Vocals Podcast. If you want to stay connected with DJ TH, be sure to check him out on social media. You'll find him on Instagram and Twitter at DJTH_official, where he shares updates, behind the scenes glimpses, and up and coming events. Thank you to our listeners for tuning into this episode of Love Vocals Nation podcast. We hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of DJ TH. Remember to subscribe, rate, and review our podcast to show your support. Until next time, keep spreading the love through the power of music. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay.